Hey, welcome back to Jamison's Repair Shop. I've got my Bead roller all motorized. I did a few upgrades to it, as I mentioned in a couple other videos, but now I've got a motor on it, and I got a motor controller, got a battery pack that powers it. So that's what I'm doing. This video is about, just an overview of the work I've done to this bead roller. Don't know what else to say. Everybody else seems like everyone has a bead roller video out there, and hey, I wanted a bead roller video. So now I have a bead roller video. Not a big deal, but it's what I did, and it makes this bead roller more versatile, much easier to use, less struggles. So let's get into it. Like I said, it's just an overview. No major construction happening here. Just things showing you what was done. All right, so let's go see what I did and get on with it. All right, doing the old bead roller upgrades, getting it motorized. I already talked about some of the other stuff, like the grease fittings, and I got the new dies, put this handle on. And when I first got this, and I put this spring-loaded return adjuster on this, so it just comes up and down by itself. And when I first got this, I did this bracing. That's just angle iron, and I think it's, I don't know if it's 3/16 or, looks like 3/16 or 1/8, looks like 3/16. And now it's the motor. And what I've done here, I started out using stuff that I had on hand. That's why you see this. This is a timing gear out of my wife's Cadillac. So I started doing it, and I had an idler over here all built from as if it was a timing gear setup on a Cadillac. But anyway, I had it all, and the chain was perfect. The only thing is, this in relation to this ratio wasn't high enough to do a good job. I had to turn the roller motor up quite high just to get it, and it was moving too fast. So oh yeah, I should mention the motor. The motor is out of a wheelchair. I've had these motors, I have two of them, motors, for quite some time. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. Yeah, actually I did bring up a motor. So I had the motor stuff, motor's on there. And what I did for the motor, because the wheelchair mounts on this way, on a wheelchair it clamps on over a tube. So I just did the same thing, just dropped the tube down. I'm going to get rid of this if I don't use it for the guard. So I'm going to leave it there until I get the guard built. And then I put an adjustment on this to get this chain, and it's a little snug right now. I lubed it up with molly grease. So now that's on my hands. But once it's all covered in with a guard, it won't be so bad. So yeah, that's just an adjustment bolt. And like I say, it's a little snug. It's not bad. I can back it off a little bit. It's easy to do. Anyway, now getting back to what the upgrades were. So this is a number 41 chain, number 41 sprocket, and both sprockets are 41. This is a 10 tooth gear, and this is a 40 tooth gear, so a 4-to-1 ratio, which it actually works really well so far. I can turn it right down and still have the power. That's a 24-volt motor. The reason this is still here and not a weld-on coupler like this is that I couldn't get a 1-inch one when I went to Princess Auto. I don't know why. They usually have that stuff, but at that day I went, there weren't any on the shelf, and I was in a hurry and I didn't want to run around. So I just welded on the back of the one I already had fitting. So that, I don't know if you can see it, but it just welded in there, tacked onto it. And I can change it out if it gives me grief, but it's not hurting anything. It just makes it a little thick to put a guard on, but the shaft comes out there anyway. So anyway, it runs pretty good. A little clicky, of course. That motor was clicky right from day one. I mentioned that before. I don't know what else I can say about it. I'm going to go, once I get this, oh yeah, what can I say about it? I have lots to say about it, actually. So right now, what I'm doing here, let's slide this around, I'm adding this, a place for the controller. So I have the controller right here. I just painted that, so it's a little bit grubby. So I put a couple of stocks, I mean probably more than I needed to, but that's what the controller is going to be. And it has forward, reverse, and speed control. I'm running this off 24 volts. And over here I have a battery pack. I kind of wanted this so I could move it around the shop without having to have plugs on it. Not that that's a big deal, and I probably won't be taking it anywhere else. So I have this battery monitor on it, so it's at 25.5 volts right now. So we're fully charged. There's two 12-volt sealed lead acid batteries in that. And then I have this, the charger that came with the wheelchair. It's a 24-volt charger, so I'll use that to keep it charged up. So that's the plan for powering this rig. And of course, there's going to have to be a relay for a foot pedal put in. So this relay I have right here is a solid state relay, and it's good for 5 to 200 volts DC, and input for the relay is 3 to 30. And I believe that's 100 amp, or is that 25 amp run? It doesn't matter if it's only 25 amp, which I'm not 100% sure. But if it is only 25 amp, this won't draw 25 amps. I think it might only be 25. I have 100 over here. Yeah, I have 100 right there, and this is only a 25. Yeah, so that's I'm going to use the 25, and the 25 has a nice cover over it as well. All right, so that's what I'll be doing. So let me get this stuff all geared up, and I'll probably, I don't know, I'll find a place for all this stuff. I want to keep it away from the working end as much as I can. And then, of course, I want to keep it so I can get the guard on once I have it built. All right, so let me continue on. There we go. I got my battery mount made. It's just some 3/4 angle. I made it a little long, and then I just brought up the ends to hold it in place. If I find it's moving around a lot, I'll put a couple of chain link eyes here so I can run this strap through it. It'll hold it in place. But I think it's going to be fine the way it is. I like to have it so I can just pull it off there when I want to. So now I'm going to paint this up and then move on to, I believe, the wiring. I've got the speed controller just roughed in. So yeah, it's just mostly, it'll be wiring now. And of course the guard, but the guard won't get done. I want to make sure this is all going to work right before I put a guard on it. I'll just have to be careful to stick my fingers in there. Well, there she is. Got all controls on there, and I just have this because I can't find my foot pedal, so I just turned a micro switch into a foot pedal. Just like so. It's in neutral right now. So I've got her all wired in. Need some straps on it to hold that in tight. Right now I'm charging the batteries up. Batteries mounted. So yeah, it's pretty much it. It's a little jumpy here at times. I don't know really what's going on. I got them as lined up as I could. But hey, it'll be fine, I'm sure. So that's that. So yeah, so I'll flick it into gear here. Show you how she works. All right, let's go around. So this is in neutral. This is for the gearbox right there. So that's in gear. So we can see as soon as I push this, she starts turning. All right. So I have the control. I'm going to mount this on a piece of wood for a foot pedal for now. But this is how it all goes when you push this. So it starts her up. That's at 30 on the gauge there. So that's the speed it's going. We'll go over here and show the die speed. So probably 20 is between 20 and 30 is where a fellow will be running it. Maybe a little faster on straightaways with a guide in. Probably run it quite a bit faster. I'll show you full speed. There's full speed right there. So that's as fast as it can go. So you're pretty much limited to that, and that's fast enough as far as I'm concerned. So let's get a piece of steel and we'll put in there. See if we can do a bead. All right, I got myself a piece of 18 gauge. And we'll see what this thing can do. I'll put a pair of gloves on. So don't whack your tripod leg on you there. So I've got the controller here that's meant to be a foot controller, but right now it's a hand controller. Just set that aside. So they're going to put a bead in, so I'll come down to it. I'll do 1.5 turns to get it started. This is 18 gauge, so it's pretty heavy. So I'll put in forward, because there's a forward and reverse switch right there, and then neutral. So let's see what happens. So that's on 2.5 or 25. All right, and hit reverse. Oh, not neutral, reverse. And we'll give her another 1/2 turn. Put her on forward. Hit it on forward. There we go. So it's pretty controllable, that's for sure. Let's do another 1/2 turn and go back. It's almost to the bottom of this. All right, it looks like a pretty good bead. So that was 2.5 turns, I believe. It doesn't matter. I'm going to stop there. But I'm pretty happy with this machine. So there's the bead that went in it. I mean, I could have put it down more, but that's a pretty nice bead for a 3/8 radius on it. So that's it. I'm going to call it a success for my bead roller. Pretty happy with it now. And once I get this mounted on a foot pedal, one that's safe to use, so you can't inadvertently turn it on. Mind you, you shouldn't probably inadvertently turn it on. But anyway, that's her. Pretty easy. The dies are getting dirty already. I did notice though, this shaft here, if you go fast on it, it's not true. This shaft is out a little bit. It's got a tiny little waver in it. But hey, what can you do? It's a cheap outfit turned into something that I can use. So there you go. Perfect. So I'm going to call it quits here. All right, so thank you for watching, and we'll get back on the Thunderbird here pretty quick. Hopefully have a video out on the weekend on working on repairs on the Thunderbird wheelhouse on the side we're working on. That's what I'm going after next. All right, guys, thanks a lot. See you in the next one.